Hello everybody and welcome to The Rapture is Here and you will be forcibly removed from your home, which can be shortened to TRIHAYWBFRFYH, which doesn't help at all, does it really? Anyway, this is a game which is free to play. I'll leave a link in the description to it. I'm going to leave two links though. The first link is going to be to the main sort of game page on that website, where I believe you can play it within your browser. But the second one, because for me the browser version of the game wouldn't work, I'm using Google Chrome. For some reason it just freezes it right up. Just in case that happens to you, I'm going to include a download link, a direct download link to the game via the same website. Now what I do need to say about that is if you click on it, it takes you to the page and the download begins automatically. It will begin pretty much straight away. So prepare yourself for that. I don't want anyone sort of going on there, clicking that link and thinking, oh hang on a minute, there's something downloading here. What's downloading? So I'll just warn you about that. Don't know too... apparently I can start the music there. But don't know too much about this game, other than apparently the ending is really good. Apparently it's only a 20-minute game, so I'm going to get into it now. Okay. What on earth is that? Let's head straight up here now to this pole looking beastie. The hill. Getting a bit greener, a bit more full coloured, maybe. Certainly I think the sky's gone, well it was a little bit blurry, now it's darkening again. Appears to be something going up the side of that pole. There's another one over there. Yeah, right up the side. So you can't go around it because that looks to me like could be letters going up the side of there. Maybe no, it's starting to look a little bit less like letters now. No, they're just yellow dots. So what happens if I walk in?
The natural leadership, which with my uncle procured the instruments from the laboratories of Brown University and the Cranston Street Armory and instinctively assumed direction of our venture, was a marvelous commentary on the potential vitality and resilience of a man of 81. Elihu Whipple had lived according to the hygienic laws he had preached as a physician, and but for what happened later would be here in full vigor today.
Okay. I believe I can see a house off in the distance, so I'm going to head over to that next. There's also one of these other towers by the house. That first one I didn't get much out of. Well, obviously it spoke a lot, but can't honestly say I understood all of it. But there's some speak about a scientist of some kind, or someone who at least had made some discoveries. So let's go and stand by this thingamabob, see what this has to say to me.
What I heard in my youth about the shunned house was merely that people died there in alarmingly great numbers. That, I was told, was why the original owners had moved out some 20 years after building the place. It was plainly unhealthy, perhaps because of the dampness and fungus growth in the cellar, the general sickish smell, the drafts of the hallway, or the quality of the well and pump water.
So this house was apparently abandoned by the previous owners, she says. I'm walking round it in order to try and find some sort of a way in. Ah, there's a door. Can I come in, please? Apparently I can jump. That's something at least, isn't it? Okay, so I've worked out that I can actually press shift to run. So let's head over to this next one over there. Almost there. Next is some sort of gigantic pink thing. Come to me.
In short, it seemed to my uncle and me that an incontrovertible array of facts pointed to some lingering influence in the shunned house, traceable to one or another of the ill-favoured French settlers of 2 centuries before, and still operative through rare and unknown laws of atomic and electronic motion. That the family had possessed an abnormal affinity for outer circles of entity, dark spheres which for normal folk held only repulsion and terror, their recorded history seemed to prove.
Okay. Well, this has turned white for some reason. It seems to be white that side, pink the other side. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I'm going to head into the woods. It's another. I believe the dialogue from this game is taken from H.P. Lovecraft. Can't say I've read much of his work, that's just what I've read from the credits or the website I got the game from. I'll be quiet now and listen to this.
To declare that we were not nervous on that rainy night of watching would be an exaggeration both gross and ridiculous. We were not, as I've said, in any sense childishly superstitious, but scientific study and reflection had taught us that the known universe of 3 dimensions embraces the merest fraction of the whole cosmos of substance and energy. In this case, an overwhelming preponderance of evidence from numerous authentic sources pointed to the tenacious existence of certain forces of great power. And so far as the human point of view is concerned, exceptional malignancy.
Ah, right, well. Looking over that thing makes a weird thrumming sound. So I'm going to stop looking up at that thing because that's freaking me out. But there's another one of those dotty towers up there, which is going to speak to me. So let's get back over to that. And also I was listening to that last one, there was some sort of earthquakey thing. I'm just focusing right on that because as I say, I don't know much about the game, and I fear that if I turn around I'm going to see something coming up behind me, and I don't want to see something coming up behind me. Thank you very much, game. There's 3 of those poles here though.
Such a thing was surely not a physical or biochemical impossibility in the light of newer science, which includes the theories of relativity and intraatomic action. One might easily imagine an alien nucleus of substance or energy, formless or otherwise, kept alive by imperceptible or immaterial subtractions from the life force or bodily tissues and fluids of other or more palpably living things into which it penetrates, and with whose fabric it sometimes completely merges itself. It might be actively hostile, or it might be dictated merely by blind motives of self-preservation. In any case, such a monster must of necessity be in our scheme of things an anomaly, and an intruder whose extirpation forms a primary duty, with every man not an enemy to the world's life, health, and sanity.
Okay, I can't honestly say I understood all of that, but what I understood were the words monster and penetration, and I do not like this idea at all. Not even a little bit. Seems to be something about a monster that isn't quite alive, so needs something that is a bit more alive for it to merge with. And I have a horrible feeling that I am that thing that is more alive than the monster that it's going to want to merge with. Oh, bugger. So let's go and see what this has to say. Is that lightning?
What baffled us was their utter ignorance of the aspect in which we might encounter the thing. No sane person had ever seen it, and few had ever felt it definitively. It might be pure energy, a form ethereal and outside the realm of substance. Or it might be partly material, some unknown and unequivocal mass of plasticity, capable of changing at will to nebulous approximations of the solid, liquid, gaseous, or tenuously unparticled states. The anthropomorphic patch of mold on the floor, the form of the yellowish vapor, and the curvature of the tree roots in some of the old tales all argued at least a remote and reminiscent connection with the human shape. But how representative or permanent that similarity might be, none could say with any kind of certainty.
Okay, so if I understand that rightly, the creature can change its appearance to look like things around the landscape. Oh bugger. I'm going to head around the trees to this one, because you know I've seen enough movies, played enough games to know that if you go through the forests, that's where the bad shit happens. So I'm going to go to this yellow one first, and then I'm going to head to, there's a blue one over there, so I'm wondering if that makes it any different.
It occurred to us too that our venture was far from safe, for in what strength the thing might appear no one could tell. But we deemed the game worth the hazard and embarked on it alone and unhesitatingly, conscious that the seeking of outside aid would only expose us to ridicule and perhaps defeat our entire purpose. Such was our frame of mind as we talked far into the night, till my uncle's growing drowsiness made me remind him to lie down for his 2 hours' sleep.
Okay. So I still have to head over to this blue one. I appear to be going through some sort of cornfield now, which has given me some very nasty flashbacks to Jurassic Park. I'm good, I'm out. This is actually quite tense, because I'm expecting something to just appear at any moment. I don't trust that smoke. I don't, not even a little bit. Look at it, just sort of, not smoke, more of like a mist, fog, yeah. You know what I mean. So let's have a look at this blue thing.
The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all of its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. The sciences, each straining in its own direction, have hitherto harmed us little. But someday, piecing together of disassociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality and of our frightful position therein, that we shall either go mad from the revelation, or will flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. I shall never knowingly supply a link in so hideous a chain. I think that the professor too intended to keep silent regarding the part that he knew, and that he would have destroyed his notes had not sudden death seized him.
Ah, that was someone different talking to me then. So I'm going to head over to that other blue one. Obviously the different colours represent the different speakers. I'm wondering, am I going to go down before I go up? Because it does look a little bit like, no I'm not. Okay, that thing. Is that thing getting lower? It looks, when I looked at it before, it looked like part of the sky was missing. Now it looks more like some sort of craft. Just a craft, not a love craft.
My knowledge of the thing began in the winter of 1927 with the death of my granduncle, George Gamble Angel. Professor Emeritus of Semitic Languages in Brown University, Providence, Rhode Island. Professor Angel was widely known as an authority on ancient inscriptions and had frequently been resorted to by the heads of prominent museums. So his passing at the age of 92 may have been recalled by many. And as my grand-uncle's heir and executor, for he died a childless widower, I was expected to go over his papers with some thoroughness, and for that purpose, moved his entire set of files and boxes to my quarters in Boston.
Okay, right. Seem to have fallen over. But, very good voice acting in this, I think. I'm gonna head over. There's another blue one over there, so I can hear a bit more from that guy. There's a red one over there. After I've done the blue one, I'm gonna head to that red one. But before I go into this one, I'm starting to think that maybe these blue dots are part of people's conscience, perhaps. So what I'm hearing are memories. I don't know.
The first half of the principal manuscript told a very peculiar tale. It appears that on March 1st, 1925, a thin, dark young man of neurotic and excited aspect had called upon Professor Angel bearing a singular clay bas-relief, which was then exceedingly damp and fresh. His card bore the name of Henry Anthony Wilcox, and he called himself psychically hypersensitive. The sculptor abruptly asked for the benefit of the host's archaeological knowledge in identifying the hieroglyphics on the bas-relief. He said, "It is new indeed, for I made it last night in a dream of strange cities, and dreams are older than brooding Tyre, or the contemplative Sphinx, or the garden-girdled Babylon."
Okay, I'm being a bit quiet because I'm hearing these things. And I've got to say, I don't fully understand what's going on. I'm trying to sort of piece everything together in my mind. We know there's a scientist of some kind. There's a woman, which we've heard. The bloke that we've heard, I believe, is something different. I'm going to have to head through this mist to get through to that red one. Just nothing jump out at me, okay? Oh, I can actually see through mist, okay. Let's have a listen to this one then.
West of Arkham, the hills rise wild, and there are valleys with deep woods that no axe has ever cut. There are dark, narrow glens where the trees slope fantastically, and where thin brooklets trickle without ever having caught the glint of sunlight. On the gentler slopes there are farms, ancient and rocky, with squat moss-coated cottages brooding eternally over old New England secrets in the lee of great ledges. But these are vacant now, the wide chimneys crumbling, and the shingled sides bulging perilously beneath low gambrel roofs. The old folk have gone away, and foreigners do not like to live here. French Canadians have tried it, Italians have tried it, and the Poles have come and departed. It is not because of anything that can be seen or heard or handled, but because of something that is imagined. The place is not good for the imagination. It does not bring restful dreams at night. It must be this which keeps the foreigners away, for old Annie Peace has never told them of anything he recalls from the strange days. When I went into the hills and vales to survey for the new reservoir, they told me the place was evil.
Oh, he's finished. Okay. That guy has... terrifying. Didn't I say I didn't want to go into the trees? Well, I'm just going to try and run straight through here. And then if I come out the other side. It's a path. Oh, what appears to be a path. And that's an abandoned shack in the woods. Steering well clear of that. I can't see any of those other rising dots, so I'm going to have to. It looks like I've reached the edge of the map, so I'm going to run and hope it takes me somewhere. Okay, that lightning is definitely blue. Shouldn't be blue. Why is it blue? Stop it from being blue, please. The hell is that noise? Okay, at the moment I'm just running to get away from things. I really hope I'm not running too. But there really is some sort of metallic scraping sound. I don't know if you can hear it. What the hell? What are these dots? They seem to be going. Are they coming from my line of vision? Ah, what I said earlier about the dots being part of those people's consciences could be true, because there's yellow dots which appear to be coming from me. But I'm still running. My running appears to be getting a little bit more erratic. I seem to be almost falling over. I'm holding down the shift key to sprint, but it's really oh, you can see the sort of screen is going really bumpy, which I think is meant to mean that the character we're playing as is stumbling. So now he's slowed down to more of a walk. Could be because I'm going uphill, but possibly somebody who's actually read that whichever Lovecraft tale this is referencing will know exactly what's happening to those. Now, can I go and stand in this and get beamed up? Evidently not. There seems to be over the house. Is there a way for me to go in? I can jump, but I can't go in. Oh, look now, these dots really are starting to multiply. I can't see very much at all. I'm holding down shift, but it makes very little difference whatsoever to the speed. But it does actually, because walking is slightly slower than this quick march. I seem to be. No, I am speeding up a little bit. But here we go. What's happening? I appear to be flying backwards. It's 4 stories by Lovecraft. I like that. Very nice sounds there. But that certainly was a experience, maybe you call it. I mean, I was going through that, you know, getting more and more tense as time wore on. I'm going to have a look at some of these stories now to see if they makes more sense of the game. But I quite like my theory of the dots rising being some sort of that aspect of the conscience. The dots that we saw flying out of a character, perhaps they were going to be split up and spread out and turned into those rising dot towers like we saw around the game. Do you know what? Somebody, if you understood what was going on here, please leave a comment and tell me. Please. You know, just for me. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to cut the episode off here. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game. Didn't understand it much, but I enjoyed it. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.